Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Then and Now podcast with me, Leonie Aleshe.
And me, Babatunde and Leonie Aleshe.
It's so good to be back here with you guys. And today we just thought that we would bring it back just to the Aleshes for a bit and just let you guys in a little bit more. And we're going to be talking about parenting highlights and lowlights as well.
I know the lowlights.
Yeah, because it's not all, sweet moments and, bliss and, gosh, our answered prayer and you're just utterly grateful. It is all of that, but it all takes work,
Takes a lot of work.
And the level of work sometimes that it takes can be really, really heavy. I mean, I was talking to a friend this week and we were just saying, like, these are the trenches. Like, it's not even... we were like, these are really, 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 really the trenches. But at the same time, it's the best trenches ever. And you wouldn't, choose anything else above it at all.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. Would I describe it as the trenches? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. It's hard times, especially in the early stages.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
When children are developing and understanding themselves as well as, culture and society and all that stuff. But it is difficult. There are definitely, those are my lowlights, the struggle bits, the tiredness, the constant tiredness, the constant having to tell them, stop doing this, do this, you know what I mean? All of that kind of things. Those, for me, are the lowlights, But the highlights definitely outweigh the low all the time. 9 times out of 10, they always outweigh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think, and just a disclaimer as well, like, what I'm going to talk about in this part may be a trigger for some people. But for us, definitely a low light when it came to having our daughter was that we actually struggled to get pregnant with her for just under 3 years. Yeah. And
I was doing everything I could in my power. Everything.
You're so stupid. Guys, this is literally what it's like being married to a comedian. There's literally no moment that could be serious. Please do not take him seriously.
Take me serious, because I was doing everything in my power to get you pregnant. That's a fact.
It took a long time, and it was, I mean, it's not something that we didn't dwell on it too much. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so bugged down. And
there was a little bit of pressure.
There was a little bit,
when other parents would come over and they had multiple kids.
Yeah.
But that was when it was just like, ooh, we just got the one.
Yeah.
Is he going to be lonely? That was the pressure for me. I did feel that. But I also had to consider there's a few of my mates that don't have children.
Yeah, at all. Yeah.
And so I was just grateful with the one. And I think that the funniest thing is the moment I was just like, let me just be grateful with my son, that's when we got pregnant.
Yeah.
It took long though.
Yeah, almost
to
3
get
years.
to that point.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie.
And we actually got to the point where we said, well, if we don't have another child, we already have this one. And I guess it would be the same if we didn't have any children. We would say, well, we've got each other. Do you know what I mean?
I don't want you. I want a child.
Yeah. But the point I'm making is, like, you get to a point where you're like, well, if this is my portion, this is my portion. Do you know what I mean? But that was a really low light for us, especially after already having a child. secondary infertility and it's unexplained and you don't know why. I mean, still to this day, we don't even know why it took so long, you know?
That's true.
And that was a low light. But then a highlight of parenting is, like, we got pregnant in 26 days with our son. Do you know what I mean? And it was super fast. And it was the fastest, like, I've ever had to get my mind into gear about, you know, anything and like,
especially a big decision.
Yeah,
it's not a decision. Well, it
is, yeah.
But yeah, the big
life
like
change,
that.
yeah,
life changing decision. Like, oh my God, I'm about to be a parent.
Yeah,
I'm gonna raise a human.
Literally, I'm gonna be responsible for this person's every breath. Like, it's wild, you know. So the contrast between the two, that low season of it's not going to happen, it might not happen with our daughter, to with our son it happening just like that, you know, the two really do contrast. So if there's anybody that is, you know, in that position of waiting, I just want to say that, you know, it is possible.
Absolutely.
And regardless of how you feel now, the time of it happening is different for everybody. And I genuinely believe that it can happen for you as well.
Part of our journey to getting pregnant again was our health.
Yes.
And our weight.
Yeah.
If we're going to be frank and be quite personal. Was and for both of us, not just, you know, me. Yeah. It was for both of us. We both had to address our eating and our drinking, and well, especially me. But like, yeah, we had to address that and just be like, okay. And then, you know, we both had a detox. Because obviously I'm a celeb and all of that, and so I naturally detoxed anyway. And you, because I wasn't around you,
because
to
I didn't have
you.
a bad influence to feed me.
Like, babe, I got some cupcakes. You want some cupcakes?
Yeah. Oh, do you want some donuts? Oh, I got you a cookie.
It's me.
Like, I don't need all of this.
It's me. Like, even yesterday with like
bringing home crisps.
Some crisp and stuff like that. I just wanted this. Again, vibes.
Yeah.
I'm all about vibes. Yeah, man, these crisps are nice. You should try them.
And then I taste it and I'm like, oh, these are so nice. I can't not have another bowl.
And we're like, see, I told you. Try these cookies. These cookies are lit. I'm like, come on, Tunde. But we had to address like a lot of the stuff that we were eating is like super ultra processed. And once we got rid of all of that, the sugar and all of that out of our diets,
you got pregnant.
It's like that.
Almost immediately. Yeah.
Immediately, yeah. It was like a month after I got out of I'm a Celeb. Bang.
Yeah.
And we found out like, oh snap, we're gonna be parents again.
We're going to be parents. But I remember leading up to that time, I was like taking pregnancy tests after pregnancy tests and constantly checking. And I'm like, that's years, you know, of doing that to eventually get to the point where you actually get a positive. Like, it's absolutely insane. But so like finding out that we were going to be parents, the two times were two, you know, different journeys to it. But I think, you know, just the joy of knowing that we were going to become parents was absolutely everything, honestly. And then when, you know, you get home with them from the hospital, and I remember you saying like, okay, so this is it now. Like, three of us. But
with our first child, our son, we left as a 2, came back as a 3. Obviously, the 3 was always there because the 3 was in your belly.
Yeah.
But couldn't see him. So when we came back and it was just like 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
It was like, oh wow, he's here now.
Yeah.
And he is not just gonna be here like that forever.
Yeah.
He's gonna grow.
And he's such a big boy now.
He's a big boy now, and it's this sounds weird, but you see how fragile a child is.
Yeah.
You see how fragile a child is, and you see how innocent they are. And a bit off topic.
Yeah.
But this is why I love the community work that people like Farron, Alex Paul is doing, that Tricky is doing. Because when I look at my son and I and I see all the stuff that's going on in like the streets of London, streets of Birmingham, streets of Manchester, like all the crime involving young people and all of this kind of stuff. As a father now and looking at my son and seeing just how small and fragile they are, I'm like, life is so precious and life is worth so much more, and you guys don't know the value of life because you don't have children, right? But as parents, right, you kind of need to listen to your parents because we're the one that hold the love for you. So stop getting yourself, stop putting yourself into situations where we have to think about grieving for you, because the love is here. We hold it because we've known you from birth, and we see you, and we see exactly how frail you are. You might think you're a big man, brother or sister. You're not. You know what I'm saying? So I think those, obviously we've not experienced those low parts, and God forbid we do, but that I think even thinking that those are the lows for me as a parent, it's just like, oh my God, the love you have for a child, it's crazy. Through the roof. Yeah. Like it's so deep that it's scary. It's just like, oh, I never knew I could love somebody like
this much.
It's actually frightening, you know. And that's how I feel like with my daughter as well. It's just like, I like that I love you so much, but this is mad.
It's scary, you know? Isn't it?
This is scary.
It's scary.
It's a scary type
but I
of love,
think
you know?
it's just like, for me, you know, like remembering back, like in the early days, it's the moment in the nights where it's just me and them, as an example, breastfeeding, and I'm just looking down like at this child, like, I'm responsible for you and you're totally dependent on me for your survival, you know. And I'm thinking, it's like 3 a.m, like the world is asleep, you know, but I'm here and you're looking up at me and I'm looking back at you, and it's just those moments that stay in my mind forever, if that makes sense. Or, you know, when they do that, their first actual smile, not just a wind one, but
when they fart.
And they're smiling about it. You know, but their first actual smile, and, you know, like their first steps and stuff like that. Our daughter now, where you've taught her to say I, and then you draw a heart, love you, and she repeats
when
it.
When she said that to me,
oh,
I went crazy because of the, you know, the child voice. Oh my God, I was just like, I'm done. I'm finished. She's gonna know how to just get anything from me. Spend all my money. And I wouldn't care. I love it, man.
She can do what she wants, and it's just like stuff like their first step, like when you're like, they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it, and then they literally just go.
And now she won't stop running. It's like, oh my, and they're fast,
so swift.
Babies are fast.
They are swift. By the time you blink 2 times, they're gone.
I'll be like, where are you going? And I'm thinking, chasing her upstairs, that's going to be a breeze.
No.
Fam.
She's upstairs already.
Gone into her brother's room. Jumps on his bed and...
messes it up.
Tries to hide.
Turns over some books.
No, she tries to hide on his bed. I can see you. But she finds it so funny. And it's just like, oh, this girl, man.
Or when they're looking at you from the side of their eye, like and it's like, I can still see, even though you can't see me, I can still see you.
You know what's funny about, or should I say a low about parenting, is watching your child think that they are smarter than you, like they've got the best of you. Like they've pulled the wool over your eyes. So our son, when he would try and, like, you know, lie, or maybe not lie, but try and bend the truth and, you know, tell a white lie, and it's just like, dude, come on, man. I saw that, like, you know what I mean? I can see that you're lying, and then they try and act and convince themselves,
like,
oh no, I really mean it, and it's like, son, I was your age, and you are a bad actor. Let's just get down.
And I wasn't born yesterday.
Stop thinking that the world started when you was born, my friend.
You know, when your parents used to say that back in the day, you used to think, where do you get all these dramatic lines to be saying, man? Relax. Like, you be thinking, oh,
And it makes sense.
it makes too, like, that saying, I wasn't born yesterday, I've never heard a truer one. Like,
because they treat you like that.
Yeah.
They treat you like, well, I can. This
Yeah.
one, they don't know nothing.
she'll just listen to what I say.
Yeah.
No, you listen to what I say.
That's the part that frustrates me. It's them thinking that they know better, and I'm just like, you're gonna have a rude awakening.
Yeah.
Life is difficult.
Well, I think a low for me, I would say, is, you know, especially when I was in my old company, juggling work and children, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's
This is why I say let's just go back to our old place and just smash it up.
Let's go to Sweden though. I remember there was a time where I was so exhausted. So what they did at our old workplace, we were working shifts, so we were working 12-hour shifts, and those were fine. Do you remember? Because I was getting like 3 days holiday, like in between each shift. And then annual leave added in, you would end up having like 9 days off in a row at a time, right? So the flow of it worked really well. They then decided to change it and put us all to working Monday to Friday, only working 8.5-hour shifts or something like that, 9.5-hour shifts. So then it was basically you working round the clock, a mixture of mornings, afternoons and evenings. And, you know, as a workforce, we complained about it for about literally as soon as they implemented it. And they didn't listen to us. And I obviously just kept going, thinking at some point I'm going to find a way out of this, or I'm going to be able to juggle my way to getting out of this. And I was so exhausted, I literally stopped processing. So mentally, I stopped processing. And through that stopping processing, driving the car, I thought I was in reverse, but I was still in drive, and drove straight into my neighbour's brick wall.
I remember that day.
And
I remember I heard the crash. No, I think I was out. No, I think I had just come outside to see you pulling up.
Yeah.
And then boom, it happened. And one neighbour was doing too much.
Yeah.
And I was just like, just be quiet.
Yeah,
before
literally.
I do something to you. And then the other neighbours were cool.
But no, it was...
I think people are learning through this podcast. Mama has some angry. But one neighbour was doing too much.
Yeah, they still do too much to this day. There's always that one neighbour on the road. Everybody knows that one neighbour on their road.
That does.
Yeah, too much.
Knows everything that's going on on the road. Just
I
knows
can tell you everyone's
business.
business.
And it was just like, why were you the first one out?
Literally.
Anyway. Yeah, I remember that happening.
You know, as a parent, you're already dealing with exhaustion. Like, you need, you know, companies and workplaces that understand this kind of stuff and are able to support and help, not add additional pressures basically to what you're already experiencing as a parent. And don't get me wrong, companies shouldn't make their company revolve around, you know, individual people, but the overall well-being, if like the whole workforce is saying that this is an issue, that is something to be addressed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
and
agree.
as parents, that is hard because you're dealing with that exhaustion while still trying to raise your children and be present and, you know, be focused on their learning and helping them to navigate the things that they need to navigate and so on. And I just found that so hard at that time. So hard. I mean, it gave me the drive and the push to move into the field that I'm in now. But prior to that, when it wasn't an option, and the reality is so many people live that reality now, you know, where it isn't an option for them to be able to choose, you know, how they spend their time and how they work and stuff like that, and are in similar situations to that. And the main thing that I will say with that is, please do. Like, if there are changes that you can make those changes, because it's going to help you to be a better parent for your children. And instead of continuously going through those low moments, give yourself the opportunity to make the change where you can, whether it's gradually over a period of time or something abrupt that you can do. Totally down to you, but it puts you in a position where you're able to show up for your children in such a better way than you would if you stayed in those situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that was I would say that was probably one of the lowest points, I think, of the exhaustion and tiredness of being a parent, or shall I say a working parent.
My lowest as a parent was a big situation that happened involving our son at school, where certain topics had to be addressed. I knew it would always happen, but I didn't think it would be so soon. Obviously, it was a topic about race. I think I've spoke about it on our podcast before. But that was a low moment, because having to explain to our son, the concept of race, or should I say the reality of race currently within the world, race discussions and things like that. Having to word that to a 4-year-old was really difficult and really weird. And then having to have that discussion with, parents, and it was what I found frustrating was trying to have a conversation and talk about the bigger picture, rather than just this small situation that's happening. I was trying to let's focus on the bigger picture, and this is just a small part of it, but we need to address all of this, just us as parents, because we're going to know each other for a long time if our children keep going to the same school. So let's open our minds to what we both value. So let me hear you out. Hear us out, but let me really hear you out, right? And we couldn't get there because there was a lot of hiding behind things.
And I think that is a low of being a parent.
That was very low.
You cannot choose, basically, some of the experiences your child is going to have.
No. But again, what I was trying to get to was, let's kind of build a community. Let's get to a community based here. And they were like, but they were hiding. And I was just like, this is not gonna happen. It's not gonna work, is it? Right. That was a low moment. To me.
I think so, definitely.
What would you say about me as a parent? What have you found out?
I think you're learning a lot about yourself through parenting. And you definitely have that thing of, I'm gonna be for my children what I didn't have. Of course. And I think that's beautiful, that you would take your experience and instead of saying, well, I didn't have this, so I'm not going to try. I'm going to give my bare minimum, or I'm going to turn out like, my dad was, or whatever, or I'm going to see how I get on. You actually consciously make an effort when it comes to parenting, to get better in different areas and to grow and to tweak and to change things. And I think that's admirable, actually. Because it does take a lot of growing ourselves in order to be able to grow these children and help them to develop into the humans that we want them to be. So, I really admire that, man.
I guess for me, what I try to do is try to teach them as much as I keep learning. The more I learn, the more I like to pass on. Like, I have regular discussions with our son when it's just me and him walking. I'll just randomly bring up a topic, and then I can see the awkwardness in his face. He's just like,
what is this about?
Like, how do I now address this? Honestly, I remember we were walking one day and I was just like, do you know who Haile Selassie was? And he was just like, no. And I went into this whole breakdown of who he was and why he was so important. Obviously, we're not Rastas, but why he was important and why a black king, is very significant.
Yeah.
And his title and all of this stuff. And explaining that to an 8-year-old, I can see that it's going in.
Yeah.
And he's processing it, but I can see it for him. It's just like, I don't get none of this.
Yeah, yeah.
But I know later on down the line, he'll
remember back, yeah.
But I was breaking it down to him, like, why it was so important that there was once a black king that other monarchies had to bow to.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, you know, as you go older, start reading some of the books I've got. No, for real. And yeah, bringing up to him like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Fela Kuti, all these, you know, people and what they stood for, and you know, and then sometimes we were watching the news the other day, and he was just like, "What's going on?" And I was just like, "War, son," and I was like, "That's what war looks like." And he was just like, "What?"
Yeah,
and he just sat there watching it, and I was just like, I kind of should. I felt like, let me turn this off because this is it's a bit much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
you felt like you'll be doing him a disservice by not showing him some elements of
it because it's other children's realities. Yeah. I kind of just wanted to show him just a little bit of it for him to just understand that this world that you're living in is a bit mad.
Yeah.
You know. You know what I think about you as a parent. You know what?
Look at me now.
Come on, tell me. No, I think for you, you're a great mother, man. You're a great planner.
Yeah.
A very, very great planner. But you're also a great receptor in terms of, you're like an antenna. You're always trying to pick up on things. You'll be like, oh, our son's feeling this way. And I'll be like, how the hell do you know? But you'll just pick up on it. And I'll be like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And, well, obviously now with our daughter and things like that, you're the exact same. But, yeah, you're a great planner. You figure things out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes me a while to catch up to what you've figured out.
Yeah.
And that's where sometimes I'll be frustrated, like, what's this girl doing now? And then when it dawns on me that like how you've broken it down, I'm like, oh man, I should shut my mouth more often. Let me just let her get on with it and things like that. So yeah, you are a great planner, a great reader of situations and people and feelings, and yeah, you are always 10 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Of everything, and I think that's what makes you a wonderful parent. Especially me, I observe and I learn from, and I go, okay, even though I'm totally different, I pick up on different things. I think it's wonderful when one parent is so in tune with the harmony of the household.
Yeah.
And you're there to keep it or improve on it. And
but that is bittersweet for me, right? Because I remember when I was, again, working in my old company, I felt like I didn't even have the headspace to be as in tune. Does that make sense? And again, that's like a lot of parents' reality, where they're working so incredibly hard to even be able to provide for their children, that they don't really get the headspace to really, you know, sit in the moment with their children and build that connection with their children. And I've experienced that, you know, and being on the other side of it now, where I do have that opportunity to do it, and to do it in the way that I love and, you know, have always kind of envisioned. Because I think as a mum, and if you can resonate with this as you listen, I want you guys to pop it in the comments as well. But as a mum, the moment you give birth, you automatically feel like I have to do everything in order to make this child's life as successful as it could ever be. And I'm not just talking about, oh, they're going to grow up and they're going to have a great job, but emotionally stable. Do you know what I mean? Mentally stable and well, physically able to do the things that they need to do to look after themselves and to, do their homework and all of that kind of stuff. That is bitter sweet because it's not easily done.
But it's not easily done because it takes time.
Yeah, but a lot of parents don't have the physical time to be able to give because they're otherwise occupied.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
But as a mum, you have that innate thing of and that longing of wanting to fulfill that thing. Do you know what I mean?
I got you.
But then you're not able to the way that you want to because of other commitments and needing to provide as well.
Does that get in the way? No, break that down for me, because are you saying then because of work, so work is getting in the way of...
So work, what's the word? So yeah, when you're working, it takes away from the nurturing that you would want to be doing in that time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That is interesting. You know why that's interesting? Because, so for me, there's an innate feeling to work and provide and to protect. Like, sometimes when you're just like, let's just have a moment to be still. And I'm like, I could be making money.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you say that. That's very interesting.
Yeah. So it is that, and it's not that you don't want to work.
No, I know what you're saying.
It's just that you want to work it flexibly around them.
Yeah,
Does that make sense? So it's bittersweet as a parent. But what would you say is the thing that, has changed the most for you as a parent? Yeah.
As a parent?
Yeah, or like since you've become a parent, what's changed the most?
The thing that's changed the most is how much information I'm willing to learn in order to pass down. That's the number one thing. Before, I just used to take in information so that I would understand.
Yeah.
But now it's a bigger picture. So now it's like I'm reading a book a week.
Yeah.
A week. And I'm just like... And I'm reading any and everything. Yeah. It's not just this and that and that.
It's about broadening your knowledge of things. Yeah.
And that's why it's funny, like when I have, again, going back to these conversations I have with my son, when I have them, there's always a lesson in what I'm doing. There's always an underlying, there's a reason why I'm telling you this. Yeah. But it's like I'm taking him through stages. So going back to talking about, Haile Selassie, breaking that down, I was basically trying to explain to him that, you are somebody, and don't think to yourself that you're just any random person off road. There's a whole, everybody in this world, color, creed, race, gender, nationality, whatever, we're all very special. Yeah. And including yourself. And I kind of need you to see that
and understand
by seeing
it. Yeah.
the heroes that are around that we have within our, going to talking about black people in our race as well. So
and I think that's important as a black parent. Do you know what I mean? And that's something that's definitely grown on me recently, that, really delving into the importance of showing them their identity, my daughter with her hair and her skin, and letting them know that they are beautiful in their own way regardless. And that is something that I've grown into more, because I was kind of just like, hey, head in the clouds about it before, but as a parent I've definitely grown in that area a lot. But it's been actually really nice to just have an episode like this talking about the highs and lows of parenthood. And, just to say that, yes, the early days are tough. Yes, the sleepless nights are tough. Yes, when you're in the trenches of what day of the week is it, and, the house is a mess, and, it's absolute chaos, and you guys are surviving on little to no sleep. We're still in those trenches with you, you know. We're very much there now.
However,
and however, it is beautiful as well, you know, the first steps, the first smile, the laughter in the home, the fun and the joys that you get to have together, and all of the exciting parts. It's all part and parcel, and you've got to take the rough with the smooth, as my grandma would say. You've got to take the rough with the smooth, and we've got to roll with it. So keep going. You guys are doing amazing as parents, if you're listening and you're a parent, and we're all in this together.
That's
you
right,
are
man.
not doing this alone.
Thank you for listening, guys. This has been the Then and Now podcast with myself, Babatunde.
And me, Leonie Aleshe.
Peace out.